I did prepare a speech. It's in the wood stove now. I wanted to tell you just what's on my mind and why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. First of all, since I am a consultant for corporate America and I'm paid to be a trusted advisor in different corporations that are highly secure, there's a good chance that I could be sacked, fired for what I'm doing right now. However, I think the risk of doing nothing and just continuing along the comfortable path is far more risky. I think we've come to that point. Now, 20 odd years ago, Reagan got into office. It's almost 30 years now. And I could see what was happening. I was enraged by the black operations in Nicaragua and all of what was going on all over the world. It was no different back then than it is today. Some would say it's worse. I can't see a difference. I think I seceded in 1980. And because after that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with that particular, reality, that of a culture that could allow the evil that's gone on in the world. For what? For oil, for national security. It's the more I study international politics, the more I realize that there's no explaining it, but it's something that we should not be doing. So I did have a few notes that I wanted to share with you. You're very busy people, so I'm just going to lay it out very quickly and fill in the blanks as this campaign goes along. There's an objective morality. I feel that I'm a moral person. There's things that I feel that are right and things that are wrong. And I've tried to teach those to my children, but they seem to have picked it up anyway. Coercion. You harm someone. That's a bad thing. That's an evil thing. Acts which benefit others, benefit yourselves, benefit society, those are considered good. So far, so good. If you believe that everyone's equal, then you'd have to at least entertain the fact that each person should have access to the bounty of nature, to natural opportunities. I travel the world and find that it is not so. People don't have access to natural opportunities. They're blocked. People are poor. In the U.S., people are comparatively rich compared to the rest of the world, but that's changing. Now, if you don't like something, say you don't like that your neighbor's not cutting his lawn, or you don't like that your neighbor is gay, or you don't like that your neighbor is playing loud music, that's it's not exactly a harm. It could be considered disagreeable, but the majority of laws in the United States concern disagreeable acts, not evil acts. And the U.S. has the largest proportion of the population in prison than any other country at any other time, except perhaps the Soviet Union. So what is the U.S. compared to? The Soviet Union. Extensive prison system, and they collapsed. Now, I'm sure that most of you have heard of peak oil. Our lives are run by oil. To get here, we've got mobile phones, we've got transportation, mostly private transportation. It's all oil. There are those that say that it's running out, and we're now squabbling over the last few drops. This is what this whole thing is going on in Iraq, with military a withdrawal on the surface, but permanent military bases atop the oil fields under construction or finished by now. What does that mean? It means that, we don't have to go into the cities and be picked off in 2s and 3s. We can just stay in the bases, and the bases bring out the oil, and problem solved for now. Leave the next problem to the next administration. Nice. To me, that's illegal. That's an evil thing, and that's why I'm here today, taking this risk. There are some other reasons which are going to come out in the campaign. Vermont Yankee being perhaps the most urgent of them, because there are decisions being made right now in our legislature about Vermont Yankee. Well, it's not just a matter of kilowatts per hour and how much they're going to charge us for that. The company that owns Vermont Yankee do not have a business plan. Okay, I work in the business world. I look for business plans. That's what I'm trained to do. They don't. They don't have the money for decommissioning when the thing has to be taken apart. They are stockpiling waste on the riverbank. No plan to get rid of that either. And they are siphoning off groundwater to use for the cooling, tax-free. And what does that mean from a purely economic point of view? It means that the real costs of running a decrepit nuclear reactor are hidden. So the company doesn't have to pay all the costs. They can sell the electricity back to us cheaper. And our legislators, in their wisdom, are considering only price per kilowatt hour in their decisions. They're not considering anything else, or so I'm told. Before I turned off my mobile phone, my wife gave me a call and said, make sure you mention Vermont Yankee. Make sure it's in there. Now, I have to tell you, she's from Ukraine. She's experienced a nuclear reactor meltdown firsthand. I've been there too. I actually paid a bribe to get into the compound and see that reactor myself. But it's a bunch of concrete. The real cost of Chernobyl was downwind of Chernobyl, and they're still paying that cost today. So she's saying never again. I would not be here today taking this huge risk because, but she said I could. I rely on my salary to pay the next mortgage. And if no salary comes, no next mortgage, well, I guess I'll be playing in bars and doing other things to pay the mortgage. But this is the time to do it. This is the time for independence. I am, in my campaign, I'm representing all the clean, green stuff, transition towns. I know it well. I'm not going to bore you with stuff you already know. This is something that we have to do to survive peak oil. Can we do this without, as part of the empire? I don't see that happening. Okay, I don't see us becoming green without independence. And what is the instrument of independence? Well, you can do it violently or you can do it non-violently. Secession is the established non-violent means of achieving independence. And so I'm with you. Vermont's my home, and I'm going to fight for it. Thank you.